Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Marvel Spider-Man Spectacular Difficulty video walkthrough. This is the picking up the trail mission, and we're going to be completing it no damage. So, this is a wonderful juxtaposition, this. The first half of this mission is crap, because it's just you going to a building and looking at a bunch of things that you press triangle on. And then the second half of the mission is my favourite part of the game. And it's such a disconnect calling this my favourite mission, because I find the start of it so groan-inducing, but then I find the end of it practically orgasmic. And I say that knowing full well that you might not know what it is, because I've been, on Twitter especially, I've done my best not to say what these sections are, but now we're on them in the walkthrough, I can say them. So this is a double boss fight against Vulture and Electro, and it is awesome. If that's even the mission, it might not be the mission, but I think it is. And this is awesome too, trying to do some crazy parkour, but it just doesn't really look all that great. But at the beginning, you pick up the sign, you spin it around, you scan the detective juice, and then you follow the particles with your detective vision. I mean spider vision. I mean spider senses, how dare I. And then once you do that, it leads you to a base where you get a whole bunch of exposition if you choose to look for it, but you don't have to. Instead, all you need to do is turn the UV lamp on, look at the map, and then look at the Project Icarus box. Once you do that, it will trigger the boss fight, and then we can get to the section that I'm talking about. But the boss fight is kind of everything that you want out of a Spider-Man game done really well. It's kind of awesome. It's two airborne enemies fighting you at the same time, but at no point of it does it ever feel cheesy or bullshit or unavoidable. All of it feels really well designed and well balanced, and it's just cool. It's really, really cool. All of it feels fun. Like, you can do the full encounter, all three checkpoints, without touching the ground. And the only part of it that you really need to be careful of is when Electro goes to the core, he releases kind of a scattering of lightning, and it just expands from an epicenter of the core, and that can touch you off screen. So you might have your back to it when it's happening and it still hits you. But other than that, there's nothing really to worry about too much. It's just a really cool and exciting fight. And both of the enemies can be bullied really quickly, especially if you have quad damage. This is the boss fight that showed me how good quad damage could be, and because of it, I'm not going to use it. But don't get me wrong, guys, you totally should. It's really fun. You can kill them in one cycle, pretty much. It's awesome. But the idea is that you're going to offset them against each other, and you're going to counter what they do, and then you're going to get a small opportunity to combo them until the other one saves them, and that's pretty much the flow of the combat. So it begins with just Electro. To stun them, you have to web them up, so cover distance while dodging their attacks, and then web them. When it says press triangle, go into the animation, start your combo, and then do whatever you want to do. A really good combo against Electro and Vulture is to do something like 2 squares into hold square, into triangle, into repeat. And you can sometimes get away with like 3 extensions of that combo. You can even put an ender on it with a takedown if you accrue enough of the focus. But you can really bully these enemies if you do it right. So if you watch, and then you grab him after the kick, see what I mean? You can just keep him in this, and there's nothing he can really do. And if I'd have hit him for the full combo then, and then done the execution, it would have probably ended that phase, instead of me needing to web him again and press triangle. But word of warning, guys, never ever press triangle against Vulture unless he has triangle on the screen. If you do, he'll counter it, and he'll take mandatory damage. This is also an Ivan Drago reference from Rocky IV, which is another one of my favourite moments of the game. It's pretty cool. And then we have the second phase. So dodge Vulture with circle, cover the ground, go into the combo again, but note that now he can break out of it, and Shocker will help him too. So you need to keep your head on a swivel to make sure that you don't get hit off screen. And feel free to stun this guy with as much web as you can, and then go into a combo. The combo I did against Vulture will work on Shocker, but Shocker seems to be the weaker of the two from my experience. Once again, if you use quad damage, you would have probably already ended this phase with the combos that I've done. But here comes Shocker. This is the end of Shocker, by the way. After this, it's just going to be you and Vulture. So finish the quick time events, and then the next section begins. The only real thing to know about Vulture is that only do triangle when it tells you to, and then when he fires projectiles at you, feel free to chuck them back at him. Oh, my mistake, guys. It's after this phase that you get rid of Shocker. So it's just a repeat of what we've done, with them a little bit more pissed off. So just keep on webbing, keep on covering the distance, keep on doing your combo into the hold square to extend it if you can. And if you get your focus, feel free to use it, it'll help. And then this just then, that's the only real threat of this fight when that happens. But there goes Shocker, so now it's you versus Vulture. He always dive bombs at the beginning of this scene, so counter it immediately, go into your combos. Right then was interesting, did you see that? That was one of the rare moments in the game where the input didn't work. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. So I pressed triangle, I might have been too slow, but I feel like I was okay, and instead of covering the distance in the web strike, he just kind of didn't do it. So, interesting. But web him up, press triangle, then finish him off. And I think this is the end of the fight, there it was. Killed him off camera like a beast. But that is the end of the mission, that is the end of the boss fight. It's such a fun fight, guys. I wish you the best of luck with it if you're having trouble. And as always, you take care now.